Now, after finishing all the editing that I want to do on the mandibular scan data, I go to Model Manipulation tab. Here, I will transform this data into a cast. First, I select the mandible from this drop-down menu, select Mandible, then go down to Stone Model tab and click Close Model. Here, the software has made a cast. If we go to the Surface tab, you could see here the software added a new surface, which is the model stone model. I could remove the visibility of the mandibular data, and this is the model. Now, if we look at the model, you see that the base is closed. There is another type, which is hollow, meaning it has holes in it in order not to take too much printing material. How do we do that? First, we should return the visibility of the mandibular data and delete the last surface, which is the model. Go to Model Manipulation tab and press Hollow Model. This is the hollow model. Now the height of the base, here we've selected it 2 millimeters. The software calculates the height of the base from the lowest point in the data. From this point, the software calculates 2 millimeters because it's the lowest point in the mandibular data. How do I change the height of the base? First, I have to delete the cast, go to Panels, go to Tools, Preferences, Surgical Guide, Generated Model Base Height. Here I could increase or decrease the height of the base, but it will not show until we make a new base. So we go to Model Manipulation and press Close Model. It's obvious now that the base height is 8 millimeters. If I want to return the base height to 2 millimeters, I have to go back to the Surfaces tab, delete the model, go to Tools, Preferences, Surgical Guide, Generated Model Height, and decrease it to 2 millimeters, or any other number. Go back to Model Manipulation tab and press Close Model. Here we have the base returned to 2 millimeters. There's an error that may occur when doing the base. When we select the mandible from this drop-down menu, instead of selecting mandible here, we select the maxilla. The function of these two options, maxilla and mandible, is that when we select the mandibular data, we tell the software that we want a base for the mandible that is towards the mandible, meaning downwards. But if we accidentally selected the maxilla, we'll be telling the software that the direction of the base will go upwards towards the maxilla. And this is what will happen. As you see here, the base is towards the maxilla. So how do I correct this? by simply going to Surface tab, delete the model, go to Manipulation tab, select the mandibular data from the drop-down menu, select Mandible, go down to Close Model, and there you have it. There's another function, which is the alignment. If I'm not satisfied with the occlusal alignment of the cast, as I could see the centrals and the molar are within the same height, and I want to make the centrals a little bit lower. So I select the mandibular data and press Manual Alignment. I can change the direction of the occlusal plane and after I'm finished with it, I press Close Model. Here, the centrals are lower than the molars. If I'm not satisfied with the results and want to return to the previous, I simply undo. Now, quickly, we could do the same thing for the maxillary data. Remove the unwanted data, press Cut, and encircle the areas that we want to remove. After finishing all the required editing to the data, I go to Model Manipulation tab. Make sure to select the maxillary data from the drop-down menu. Select Maxilla, go down and press Close Model. And this is the cast with the base. If we look at it, we could see that the base is higher than 2 millimeters. That's because if we look palatally, we could see that the highest point of the maxillary data is located palatally. So the software took 2 millimeters from the highest point and made the base. If I go to the Surface tab, I can see that the software had added a new surface, which is indicated by the red color. If I remove the visibility of the maxillary data, this is the maxillary model. I could change the color of the model by pressing on this color and changing it to any other color I wish. What's important is to make the maxillary cast a different color from the mandibular cast. So here we could distinguish by color which cast we're working on. Notice that the software has named both models Model, Stone, Model. And this is quite confusing if we want to select the model from the drop-down menu. So how do we correct that? By simply going to the name, double-click, and naming it the correct name. Here, I select the yellow one and call it Mandible Stone Model. And the other one, we'll call it Maxilla Stone Model. And now I can differentiate between the two models by the color and the name.